2 years before the horrific killings of more than 24 Atlanta children, a serial killer was tormenting young couples in southwest Atlanta.
The first victims were found basically nude in almost sub-zero weather.
Very little was ever reported. Police intentionally leaving the media in the dark, says former Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter Ken Willis.
If they talked about it, they would create a public panic.
Dubbed the Lover's Lane murders, 3 black couples were gunned down over a 3-month period inside their cars at 2 Atlanta parks. Then the killing stopped.
That, to me, is very telling.
The killer, only described as a large black man, remains free. CBS 46 crime scene investigator Cheryl Mack McCollum says a killer so brazen likely never quit.
It could be that he was dormant for 10 years, and then when he did move on or reoffend, it was in such a different way that we didn't notice they were connected at all.
Mack says to heat this case back up, we first start at the crime scene, Adams Park.
Well, in this case, you literally have to start from zero, which is where we are now.
On January 16, 1977, LeBrian Lovett and Veronica Hill were in the throes of romance when a man walked up to their car and started firing. Lovett managed to drive off before crashing into a bus stop sign.
The only thing that the female in the vehicle could state was she was shot by a friend of hers. Never provided a name, and subsequently both of those victims died.
Homicide Sergeant Raymond Layton says police eventually ruled out the victims' friends and ex-boyfriends. He's recreated the 42-year-old case files in hopes of solving it.
We never close a homicide.
Layton says detectives discovered a precise pattern of the crimes after the second shooting occurred 28 days later. The killer would strike continuously every month.
There were a number of stakeouts. Officers were pouring back over repeat offenders that lived in the area.
Denise Langston and Deetria Tatum survived several gunshot wounds and gave police a vague description.
These were poor lit areas, so the victims didn't see the assailant coming.
They were parked at West Manor Park, just 4 miles away from the first shooting. Ballistic testing linked the killer to all 3 shootings.
We know that the weapon was used was a .38 caliber Colt pistol.
A month later, Diane Collins and her fiancé were next when the killer returned to Adams Park. This time, he was able to open the car door and shoot, killing Diane instantly and wounding her fiancé. Layton says detectives are trying to track down stored evidence, including a blood sample belonging to the killer.
They were able to test that blood in 1977. You could only type blood. You couldn't get DNA profiles from blood.
Mack says the killer has likely bragged about his crime.
They always tell somebody, always. So maybe somebody will come forward. It's worth a shot.
We're following up with police to find out if they've been able to locate any evidence. If you have any tips that can help solve this case, please call Atlanta Crime Stoppers at 404-577-TIPS. You can remain anonymous. For CSI Atlanta, I'm Karen Greer, CBS 46 News.